Hey, seconds per frame here. Today I wanted to talk about what I think are the most potent items in Vampire Survivors and what you should pick as a beginner when you don't have any item or all items unlocked rather. So try to get the items in category A or S if you can. So I'll just make this quick and easy. Armor is kind of garbage. Can help out at the beginning, but just level your power ups and you're golden. More pickup range, always a solid pick, no matter which one, if you have the space for it. X also, solid pick. Upgraded whip, solid. Bone, S tier, always good from start to finish. Bracers are okay, especially for upgrading, but on its own doesn't do that much for me, I guess. Candelabrador, even if you're not upgrading X, always a solid item, more AoE, results in massively more damage. Stun Lance, if you're trying to kill death or don't have any other option, take it, yeah, but it only really does scale into late game and doesn't do that much at the beginning. But it can save your ass every once in a while, though. Laurel on its own can help out, but mostly doesn't. Just a little bit more chance for those lucky drops from torches and all that, but other than that, yeah, pure chance base doesn't raise your damage. Cross, solid pick, safe, reliable damage, safety because of knockback, of course. Crown totally doesn't do it for me. You level quicker, yes, but you're trying to win the game. You do that by getting as much damage as fast as possible and not by stacking experience. Yes, kind of contradictory. You're trying to gain levels as fast as possible to upgrade your levels as fast as possible, but I think it's mostly there if you're trying to reach level 100 and above. Focus on damage instead. Doesn't do that much. The points you're getting through this item you're going to spend on the item itself, so only pick if you don't have an option. Death Spiral, upgraded X, solid S tier, massive AoE damage, attacks everything around a circle, always good to upgrade. Duplicator, also S tier, more projectiles, always good. Especially at the beginning when you can't afford the passive for another projectile at the start of the game. Ebony Wing, I'd put into B tier. Damage isn't bad, but on its own, it just doesn't do enough. Tome, always a solid pick. If you're playing Library, you get this item for free. Fire Wand, also massive damage, good scaling, all around good item. Garlic, B tier. It does help at the beginning, it does help you level up quickly, even better than Crown, because you're massively killing enemies at the beginning, especially on Library, because you can just run into them for the first couple of minutes and the first couple of waves. But don't level it above level 2 or 3 at the start, only level it up or trying to rush it if you actually want to upgrade this item. Upgraded Swords, also S tier item, it is safe, reliable damage, helps you out all around. Upgraded Hellfire Wand, massive damage, again, even bigger now, even faster now. Heart, another beginner trap, in my opinion. A little bit more life doesn't do it, just get your power-ups going. Upgraded Wand, solid choice, but the worst of all upgraded items. Even then, it gives you quite a bit of safety because of the knockback effect and helps you kill bosses faster, which is the only thing you really can focus with that item. Other than that, yeah, solid pick. Bible, if you don't know anything else to pick, always pick Bible. It scales solidly, and especially once it's upgraded, but this is an item that wins you runs, but only if it is upgraded. Dagger, also solid weapon choice, mostly going to pick it up. You can clear path in a direction of your choosing. It's a little bit easier to aim, I guess, if you're playing with a gamepad instead of keyboard and mouse, or rather keyboard only in this case. But yeah, it has good scaling and you can kill something directly where you're aiming, so you can run away if you're going to get surrounded. Laurel, it's okay, but I'd always choose other items over it. Yes, you can take a couple of hits without taking damage, which, especially coupled with stun lance, is nice to extend your game and kill a death or two, or even 10 or 15, however long you may be able to go once the game is finished. But yeah, other than that, doesn't do that much. Just avoid enemies or get enough DPS to kill them. Lightning Ring, solid choice, but the problem with this item is on most characters it just doesn't scale well enough. Once fully upgraded, you can have some of the other items which do a lot more damage, much more reliably. But if you're playing a character like Porter, it gets bumped a tier to A because it has massive range then. But still, not my most favorite item, but still a solid item. Not as solid as the others. Wand sits in the same boat, doesn't do that much while leveling. It keeps you safe, of course, through knockback effect again, but it really starts to shine once upgraded. Pigeon, same problem as Ebony Wings, but I guess mirrored in the other direction. If you're picking them both, I put them into A tier, but that also means you have to level up 2 items to really let them shine. And then, of course, you're aiming for, upgrading them again. Pentagram, what to say here? I mean, there's a reason why it's mostly considered shit, right? It can actually kill your run if you don't know what you're doing. So I would avoid picking this item until you've leveled up some other items, or you pick it as your last item if you can. Because while you're leveling this item, you're going to lose a lot of experience and potentially kill items off the map like Drop Chest or Stone Mask and Tome from Inlaid Library. Fumarola, again, I think it's kind of a noob trap. Starting out the game, you're kind of forced to take it, but just get a couple of points of the life regeneration through your power-ups, and you're basically golden. Just pick this item if you're planning on upgrading Garlic. Rune Tracer, S tier choice. Even though it doesn't upgrade into anything, it does have a high damage. Late game, you're actually going to drop your frames with this item from all the projectiles bouncing around. Playing, the DVD screensaver logo from your own days. Center Water, solid pick, but here again, you have to be careful, to make use of its projectiles. Go where Center Water is dropping, so you'll always have a little safety zone somewhere on the map. Gets really strong in the late game, though. Upgraded Garlic, I'd still would put it into B tier, and don't mind which items comes first and which tier. That doesn't matter. It's just in general, right? But it doesn't really get that much better. It does a little bit more damage. It just gets a little bit more bigger. But at the end of the day, it doesn't do that much on its own, really. The sustain effect through absorbing hearts from enemies is quite kind of nice, but I found, as you can see in my last video before this, if you have your passives going, that basically does more in terms of life regeneration. Spellbinder, I'd put into B tier because extending the effect duration of your items doesn't do that much on its own unless you're going to combine it with King's Bible, which actually does make this item way more strong, and also Center Water. But other than that, I'd mostly get it to upgrade King's Bible, and then they're going to go well together. But if you don't have any of these two, it doesn't really matter at the end. Spinach, not only for upgrading Fire Wand, it's just a good item on its own. Because, damage scaling is always nice. It's basically always have an Antonio passive. So, yeah, damage scaling, always good. I'd always recommend taking this. Stone Mask just gives you more gold. That's it. if you really want to have it in your build, just play library, pick it up as your 7th or 8th item, and that's it basically. You know, it basically saves you, I don't know, 2 or 3 games throughout all your runs to unlock everything. It's not that great. Upgraded knife, also S tier, massive amounts of damage in the direction you're aiming. So, you know, you can micro it a little to, you know, always be spinning around or something if you're into that to maximize your damage. But even aiming in just one direction, standing still, you're doing massive amounts of damage, and it's the boss killer item currently. Upgraded King's Bible, Unholy Vespers, I think. Yeah, one of the best run guarantee items there is currently in the game. Massive AoE around you. The damage isn't that high and falls off after a while, but you know, the knockback effect is really, really strong and just keeps a circle of safety around you, basically, with the exceptions of a couple bosses. And by that, mostly I mean both bosses that spawn at the 25-minute marks, basically the end boss, the real end boss on the map. And yeah, that's it. Other than that, you know, you can just stand there and watch the game play itself. Upgraded birds, also massive amounts of damage, huge AoE, you know, really fun to play around with. One of the new items, of course. But yeah, the only problem is, you know, getting there, upgrading 2 items, combining them, and then lastly upgrading Vandalier. Whip, also solid weapon all around. Upgraded version is what you're aiming for, of course, but yeah, it's a good weapon. You know, level it as quickly as possible for that second projectile, and yeah, you can attack in both directions and be golden. Quite good. Wing, also, I find a beginner's trap. Wouldn't take it. It just doesn't do enough. You know, you've taken it in the hopes of running away, but actually you want to have the opposite happen, right? You want to be able to get as close as possible to deal maximum amount of damage, and yeah, it only really starts, you know, being noticeable once you've upgraded it fully. And here again, I say just upgrade your power-ups, you know, even then you get a couple dozen percentages more in terms of speed. It's enough. So yeah, that's basically it. In conclusion, just focus, especially at the beginning, on items that are upgradable. You know, that's it basically. If the more you have, the more you can stack, the better it is. I know RNGs kind of suck sometimes, but you know, that's what you're gonna do until you have all items and get a feel for the game, and then you can basically play with whatever, right? But yeah, that's what I would focus on at the beginning. So I'm not going to do characters, maybe at another time, but yeah, pick and play what you like to start with an item with, and what character you have unlocked already. And that's that. They're all quite solid. So yeah, that's it. See you around, guys. Bye bye.